Captain's log. Stardate. Unknown. Our ship and crew have been transported to an unusual realm. Not entirely sure what happened to us. Things have changed. Things are different. Not like they were before. Very puzzling. Yes. Prometheus, I am detecting very strange anomalies. The anomalies indicate that there is some sort of disaster ahead. Reading messages from several starships. Appears that some of them are extremely confused. They seem to have reset all of their chronometers all over the Federation. It cannot be. This is not logical. Dude, what is that? It looks like something out of the Tomid incident. That's impossible, dude. Unless, of course, we're back in that time period. That'd be screwy. Dude, what are we gonna do? I am Lucky Clerk, but you may call me Mr. Picard. I'll figure this out somehow. Yes. It can't be. Stardate Zero. No. That would be silly. Very silly. Suppose it could be. Scan the ship's chronometer in the database to access the date, even though really that's kind of silly. Why would that be the case? But do it anyway. Are you trying to say that we've been transported through time? And now we've arrived at the beginning of the other cycle. Stardate reboot. Why? What could have caused it? This is ridiculous. I've never encountered anything like it. Stardate Zero. That is when all of Starfleet, for no apparent reason, decided to switch to a new stardate and then calculating it ahead with 4 digits afterward. So that by the next generation time period, it would be 410000. So next year will be 100000. I think. Yeah, something like that. Yes. I think I have figured it out. What has ever happened, happened here. At Stardate Zero. I am, of course, the character of Holmes. That's right. Not just one of the data androids. I am Holmes. From the other story. From the Trek Core. This is bizarre. No explanation. Except there might be one. It may be Q. What? I'm not supposed to be in this time period. Alright, how did I get here? How annoying. I, of course, am cute. QT, that is. The alternate universe Q. You silly little Trek Core people. Ah, this is partly your doing, you know. I'm not sure how to fix it either. The Sillian that's controlling this is far more powerful than you realize. Yes, it's not me. Yes, I may be of assistance, but that's about it. Ha. Think me as sort of a mutual road, kind of. But I'm mutual Ronan. Get out of here, Q. As you wish, but don't say I didn't warn you. Damn it. No, we don't know where he's going. Oh, thanks a lot. Excellent. Allow me to introduce myself. I've had many names. I've been Bertram Vu, I've been Bertram Fonnell, been Khaki. But the name I chose back in the day was Michael Gummelt. And now you are all going to be part of my test. Because the only thing more bizarre than a Sillian from the age of the Pine Hill Children is a Sillian that isn't. Yes, this is Stardate Zero, and I intend to fulfill my mission here. Yes, this ship will now proceed to Starfleet, to Sector 001, to Earth. And once it gets to Earth, you are to grab Cadet Jean-Luc Picard. Yes. It'll be glorious. Your plan is laughable. We should stun you. With what? I've made the phasers go away. Now, I shall pitch my idea to the very core of the original story. Yes, appropriately, I snagged this ship. Yes. It will be glorious. Now, watch your futures end. Captain's log. Stardate unknown. Something unusual is happening in space-time. I'm going to investigate. Yes.
The anomaly field appears to be increasing in size. If it hits us, no telling what will happen. Raise the temporal shields.
Temporal shields online. Moments to impact. It appears to have the radius of several hundred light years. It's kind of impossible. It seems to be exponential. Increasing in all kinds of weird gravimetric distortions and tachyons. It's like nothing I've ever seen before.
I've isolated the source of the tachyon disturbance. It appears to be Sector 001. Earth. That's impossible. The tachyon eddy is coming from Earth? Well, did it blow up? What happened?
It's more of a tsunami than an eddy. Seems to be gravimetric temporal waves. Well, they're approaching at warp speed and then beyond. It's very strange.
We need to get away from whatever that is. We need to get away from whatever that is.
Yes, get us away from it. The tachyon eddies are approaching, sir. We can't outrun them.
Heading right at us. I think I've seen something like this before. Not sure where. I've seen something like this before. In the other timeline, the Vanguard space reported something similar, involving a sphere, but this is different somehow. It's not an energy sphere with time travel properties. It's a gravitational wave, graviton wave. All those things, you know.
Show me the last known location of a Federation starship before this began. Long-range sensors. The gravimetric space-time interference is messing with the sensors. However, I believe we can isolate a starship within the maelstrom. Oh. Huh. It's the Sepulveda. Oh no, not them again. It's like they just had a few models to work with. All right. Who commands the Sepulveda now? The Sepulveda? Is it that troop again? That's weird.
No, they gave the ship over to some of the other guys from something that used to be called Trek Corps. I can look into it if you like.
After we get out of this, Doctor.
Nah, I don't think they did this, sir. But it could be Q. He does stuff like this.
I hope not. How soon till the storm reaches us? Moments, sir. We're not getting away. Brace for impact.
What the hell? What's going on? Okay, something screwy going on here. Something real screwy going on here. We're on the concept, I think. How did we get here? Oh no, Q, probably. It's messing with us again. Like we have memories of where we were, though. That's weird. Oh my. What is that? Some kind of temporal wave is heading for us. A temporal wave, yeah. Like a tsunami. I've got a fix on its location. Oh no, it's the Terran system. There seems to be a ship caught in it. Not sure how I can read that from here, but I can. And, it's the Sepulveda. It's also the Esteban. The Esteban? Kinda don't recall there being a ship called the Esteban. That's weird. Huh. Alright then, let's figure out what's going on. Computer, what is today's date? Today's date is Stardate 2401.1. What? That's impossible. Okay then. I do not like time travel. It is annoying. But if we are truly in the past, how far back have we gone? That's really screwy. This is before our adventures on that space station. Oh no. We're gonna run into ourselves, aren't we? That would be a very bad idea. We shouldn't do that. But we don't even know where we are. Gotta figure it out. Even my Sillian powers seem to be circumvented by whatever this is coming at us. It's weird. Wait a minute. How do I know you, Beckett Mariner?
Oh, that's right. You were that little tiny tot that ran up to us at the academy with your parents chasing after you. That's right. Yeah. That was annoying. You hung out with us. Yeah.
Leslie, are you a traveler in this dimension? Can you figure us a way out?
This is not another dimension, Captain. It is a paradox. Someone in the past altered our destinies. A long way back in our past. Once that temporal thing hits us, once that temporal wave hits us, it'll change again. And we won't know where we are. We have to get to Earth and find the source of this.
Very well, then. Set a course for Earth. Maximum warp. Bleep, 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 bleep.
Uh-oh. Sensors. Or helmet navigation.
I don't know. Nor do I know how she got here. Huh. How did you get here? It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I couldn't have done it. Yeah. I was on the other ship, but I didn't do it. The other ship. Yeah. It was a Q. One of the Qs. Like an alternate Q. Called himself Cutie. And then there was this other guy. He was there too. This other guy. He showed up. He was annoyed. He said something about wanting to go back to the academy and abduct Cadet Picard. Whatever that means. Oh no, I wonder where he'd get an idea like that. Did he happen to say his name, by chance?
He probably got that from me. Yeah. I was the Chimera on the internet. Yeah. I look a little bit like Robbie McNeil, but of course, I'm not. Yeah. Trek Core. My guess is he's probably annoyed. I think I have an idea who he is. And we have to find him before he destroys the universe.
He called himself Mike Gummelt. That ring any bells?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does. Oh, if he's gone back in time to somehow mess with young Picard, the next generation will cease to happen. Yeah. That'd be kind of messed up. Then all the other generations will cease to happen. Yeah.
So we gotta go back and stop him from doing that. So we gotta go back and stop him from altering the future. Yeah. Probably his Q. He's testing us. Annoying. Irony is, though, if he makes him go away, then Q would go away, too, I would think.
Set a course for the gravitational wave and the source of it.
The Terran system. The Terran system.
I'm one step ahead of that alien, Gummelt. I already got him. All right. Set a course where no one dared go before. They'll never find us. What the heck's going on here? Who are you? Why, I'm Cadet Jean-Luc Picard. Why would you want me? I'm just some cadet guy. See, there's a universe-destabilizing creature from the future. He's going to come here and abduct you. But we did it first. We beat him to it. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really think that out too well. It's like I've been transported back through time just to be humiliated once more by that Cal Hazel fella. Crikey. Although I do understand this blog thing. Maybe that's why I'm here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I think it's just he wants to humiliate you further. Well, could be worse. I could still be playing a panda in a random, weird Blair Witch parody ripoff. It's just weird. And I couldn't make a deal with Decepticons or something. Yeah. It's a good thing I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. What, a panda? What are you talking about? Never mind. Patrick Talisman. Why did you bring me here? To keep an eye on me, I suppose. My old crotchety state. Your former master and father-in-law. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's it. Exactly. We won't cause any trouble if you're right here on the bridge. Proceed. Uh-oh. How'd I get here? I'm completely out of space-time. That's interesting. So, guys, probably didn't think that through too well. And now there's probably a universe-destroying space-time anomaly. And you gotta put them back before it gets worse. Before they track us here. I think it's too late for that. There's a ship approaching. They're within transporter range. Oh my, temporal shield's online. Wait a minute. You said you were 5'10". You're not 5'10". Or maybe 5'6". Maybe. You said you were 5'10" on your academy exam. You're not 5'10". You're maybe 5'6". Who are you and how did you get here? Allow me to introduce myself. I've been many names, including Bertram Vu, Albert Vu, Jim Fu. But the name I like the most is, of course, Michael Chang Gummelt. And now, I'm here to abduct you, because I figured you'd be here on this ship. This is the training vessel, of course, but the crew I do not recognize at all. They seem to be similar to our time period. That's weird. So, it appears I was about to be duped. No, I'm one step ahead of you all. Because I'm a showrunner. Now, I will take you, Picard, and hide you away so that the next generation never happens, and mine replaces it. You're cracked. Some kind of blog guy or something. Yeah. You're that guy that thought that he pitched to Star Trek. No, it can't be that easy. Men, you should phaser him. Put it on stun. I want to see where this is going. It seems pretty weird to me, and I like weird, so I want to see where it's going. I'm not going to phaser him. We will not phaser you. You cannot have Picard, though. We saw him first. Well, we want to convince him to be the captain of the Enterprise in the distant future and all that stuff. Yes. Yes. The Enterprise B? Do you really think that thing's still going to be around in the future? Don't give away the future. The Enterprise D, in case you didn't know. But it should be my Enterprise and my show. Because my show's better. Because I'm so awesome. You'll see how great I am when I take you to the place where all my dreams are made of. I've been making it just for all of us. Yeah. So, the temporal anomaly's coming. And when it does, we will join it. It will be glorious. Temporal anomaly. Oh, kind of crazy.
You just noticed? You just noticed that guy was not playing with a full deck?
My Sillian powers don't seem to work here. We should get out of here, Patrick. I don't want to leave. I want this for myself. I wanted to pitch to Star Trek as well. My Sillian powers aren't fully manifest because I don't hang out with that Cal Hazel guy. Not like you guys did for a while. No. I had my own reasons for finding young Picard and taking him from the Academy. What? I don't swing that way. What? I don't mean like that. Oh my. No. My ideas will make me famous. You will see. Energize. Oh no, he got away. Great. Now the entire universe will cease to exist as we know it. Wonderful. No, it won't. Just the universe that involves the next generation. Everybody who was an OG character should be just fine. Oh no. Oh my. Yeah, that's right. That guy's a next-gen guy. Oops. But isn't he also one of ours, too? Can he come back? Technically? Patrick Talisman. Use the sensors to try and locate their ship. We gotta find them before the anomaly erases us all. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ship sensors. They beam down to the planet. Why would he do that? We need to access a computer database on this Gummelt fella. Find out what he's all about. Could be important. Rich Everson, that's the smartest thing you said all day. Yeah, let's do that. Yes, now that I've brought you here, I can explain. I can pitch to Star Trek directly to you, Mr. Patrick Stewart guy, because and then in the future, I will have my own show and be the showrunner. Yeah, so I'm going to pitch it to you right now as a cadet in Starfleet, and that'll totally make me, basically a showrunner. And yeah, that's my plan. Came back here to pitch directly to you. Why, you overexcited, overstimulated, strange little man. Don't you realize? I'm not Patrick Stewart. I'm Jean-Luc Picard. He may have been my ancestor, I guess. But you've come to the wrong place, I'm afraid. You'll see it my way. You see, what I was going to do is I was going to have my heroic captain guy be like Captain Kirk, and he was going to be kind of a machismo and everything. He's going to be all powerful and gets all the ladies and he just gets all the girls, Yeah. Like in the J.J. Abrams movies. You know all about those, don't you? Yeah, to affect the timeline or something. I don't care. The more you know, the more you'll accept me for what I am. A brilliant writer and author and stuff. Showrunner. What the devil is a showrunner? What are you talking about, boy? Now, from my perspective, I'm a cadet at Starfleet Academy. I'm in my 20s. You seem to be in your late 40s, early 50s, possibly. From some other timeline. How bizarre. And when we disappeared, the other futures disappeared too. It's really messed up. You gotta put it back. I haven't studied much on temporal mechanics yet. I just got here. And what's really weird is that Starfleet decided, we're going to change all the stardates all over the entire Federation and start over. So it's Stardate Zero. Well, yes. Exactly. Which is what I want to do in my fan film. I'm just not even going to do a fan film. I'm going to pitch to Paramount. I'm going to go to Paramount. I'm going to say how awesome I am. I'm going to pitch to them. And they're going to listen to me because I'm awesome. Especially now that I've traveled through space-time. Where here in this universe, I can totally make that happen because I have Sillian powers now. You see, there's a Sillian guy. And he explained it. He said, thoughts create reality. He borrowed that from the Grandmaster lady. But turns out, she borrowed that from somewhere else. So it's okay to use it. Yeah, she borrowed it from a catchphrase from an 80s movie. Yeah. So I can do that. Yeah, so I have powers. And you can't escape until you hear my pitch. What? Why on earth would I want to do that? I don't even know who you are, Mr. Michael. Michael, is it? Michael, yes. Yes, Michael. Yes. I created a Star Trek game. Well, I helped write a Star Trek game. Ooh, isn't that something else? I'm not going to actually say what the game is, just for copyright reasons. But I have a vast IMDb thing. I didn't really write it myself. Where I come from, it's been some years since my glorious pitch. And all of Star Trek revolves around me, of course. Because like many fans out there, I was ambitious, driven, powerful. My idea was so much better than all of theirs. Don't you want to hear it? Not especially. You know, I could run away. I have the Academy Marathon. I'm going to be good at that. I'm going to do some running. You won't run away, Jean-Luc. You want to know. You want to hear my pitch, my Star Trek pitch. Well, you are annoying, that's for sure. All right then. What is this pitch of yours? I wrote a script treatment for a Star Trek story. You know what Star Trek is, right? I mean, you're going to be Captain Picard on the Enterprise. Oh, I shouldn't tell you about the future. Oh, well. And in the Star Trek pitch, I made the heroic captain of the Enterprise, too. So, yeah. I was inspired by your show, though, with you in it and your crew in The Next Generation. But I think I just inadvertently made them all go away by stealing you. Oh, well. Anyway, yes. So, my plan is that this Starship Captain guy, he commands a ship to a mysterious laboratory planet. And then on the mysterious laboratory planet, there's a warp gate, like a gate. Like, you know, on Stargate, ever heard of that? Stargate Atlantis is kind of what I was thinking of. Except, maybe I was thinking of Stargate Andromeda. Anyway, so he goes to Andromeda through the Stargate and then comes back. Do you like it? What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I mean, even if the universe was so vast that it vastly explored in the distant future, that you kind of imply, why go to another galaxy? Why do that? That's goofy. Yeah. And I'm not Patrick Stewart. Stop that. Cadet Picard. Yes. Cadet Picard. I can see this is going to take some persuasion. Yes. Unfortunately, my Sillian powers won't allow me to actually make you do it. No. No, I don't think that would work. Yeah. Huh. Dude, am I high? Please tell me I'm high. Dude, I thought I gave up on that a long time ago. I think I must be high. I must have fallen into a patch of space lotus or something. And the space opium got really high. Dude. And how did we beam down to the planet? Dude. Oh. You are not high, Mr. Bobo. You used to serve on the Chimera. Is that not correct? Yes. You need to get a hold of yourself. Dude, harsh vibes, man. Oh, yeah, I was on the Chimera for a couple of years, and then I wandered the galaxy for a couple more. After the incident on the ship, I kind of lost the ship to the Sillian guy that attacked. He totally just decimated everything. Yeah, because giving men, children, space powers is probably a bad idea. Q never took them away. So yeah, the Sillian guy showed up, totally jacked up the ship in the 2390s. Dude, but they got another ship. Dude. Yes, I see. We must endeavor to figure out where Gummelt took Picard. Because I figure he has taken him at this point. We must find them. I figure they came down here. It's probably easy to track them down here, I think. His energy signature is similar to our time period. We should be able to track him rather easily. There shouldn't be any Sillians right here at the Academy right now. At least I don't think so. This period was not very well explored. The 2320s. Huh. Yeah. They only came here a couple of times. Most notably from our time period, the Section 31 people came to 2324. They should have pretended that was the Terran timeline, though. Doesn't make sense with this one. Oh well. Mutual Ronan, what are you talking about? And where did the Klingon guy go? Oh, yes, where's Tupperfan? Huh. Well, you know Tupperfan. You know Tup. He doesn't comment very much at all on the blogs. Mostly to make some snarky wisecrack and then leave. So, by the way, how's that newer blog going from our time period? Not so hot, is it? TrekCore. TrekCore still exists. They just don't do blogging anymore. They don't do chat rooms anymore. Oh, but you're not referring to TrekCore. You're referring to that extra one, the Next Generation one they did. Yeah, that lasted all of a month, maybe. And it just died. It wasn't very interesting. Chimera's was much more interesting. I'll give that kid some credit for that. His was much more interesting. I see. Because we're still here, that means that he hasn't grabbed anybody from our time period. Just Picard. Aye, so all the Next Generation people would then cease to exist, causing the temporal problem. Well, we gotta get him and send him back. Yes, I did tell Chimera that it was illogical for him to keep going on about Mr. Gummelt and the writers' thing and the writers' rules for Star Trek, but he wouldn't stop. And he was a voice crying in the dark, because no one else wanted to go there and check the facts. I did. He was actually correct. Yes. Apparently, this Pitchman story idea, this superfan story idea, was actually a bunch of BS, because the writer's guide of Star Trek does not include non-writers and non-performers. They will throw away script submissions. Yes, as he pointed out, and then we had to close the thread. Because, yeah, lots of negative publicity appeared. It was a harsh quote, dude. Oh, dude. Chimera. Is that like the ship? Dude, that's cool. The Chimera. Yeah, dude. I was there too, you know. Dude. But usually, I was too high to know what I was typing. In the beginning, man. That kind of explains why he was still here. I mean, he's from Voyager. You'd think he would have disappeared too. But perhaps his group is different enough, didn't? Or perhaps so spaced out, there's no leave. Anyway, so the blog. We're talking about the blog. I wouldn't be concerned with the blog. Even if the writer's guidelines were pretty specific and did kind of say, yeah, don't pitch to Star Trek, basically. You're not going to stand a chance at all to pitch to Star Trek. But we wouldn't have admitted that back then. Would we? He's still on about something from 10 years ago or more. What, Chimera or Gummelt? I remember when he was on Trek Web. He was annoying. I think when he was on Trek Web, he sabotaged his own channel to make himself look good. Him and Gummelt should get together. Maybe that's what it is. It's a jealousy thing. That'd be funny. Or maybe it wouldn't. You're probably going to complain about certain other people on the channel. But, well, we're not on the blog right now, so it's fine. Yes, you met him maybe only once, but I met him a handful of times. He used to live in the area that I lived in. It was bizarre. One time, I was there with some of my family. I was here in a store, shopping. It was in a supermarket. There he was. He walked up and he said, "C'est la vie." And I said, how do you know who I am? And he said, Chimera from... I didn't think you were from this neighborhood. I was like, oh my. So you're actually from the Bay Area, from right here. Yeah. That was bizarre. But he didn't know Gummelt, I don't think. No. I think he's just an amateur sleuth. By the way, where is our sleuth? Where did the Sherlock Holmes data robot go? Oh yes, the next gen thing. That's right. Yeah. Yes, we need to find them. Dude, maybe they're looking for a stash on the planet. Like treasure or something. Or dude. Or dope. Dude. Yeah, dude. Do you have one joke, sir? That you are a stoner. That is silly. What? Yeah. Stop encouraging him. I think they went that way. Let's go. My character's hilarious. I also have been around. I played the Romulan guy. Or whatever I'm supposed to be. No, I think I'm an alien. I'm some sort of alien, that's right. For clarity's sake, though, I'm not supposed to be the same guy that was in the Canary Space story. I'm not supposed to be really him. Just thought I'd point that out. Oh no, the Sillian's powers are rubbing off on me. No, the longer we stay here, the weirder we'll become. Oh no. Fascinating. And I will become more and more like Spock. I guess I'm here because technically there was a version of me in the 2320s. Yes. He was around. So, yeah. That's why I'm here. Just in case you wanted to know. But I don't think that this particular troop can afford to doll up a bunch of our figures to make them look more accurate to the 2320s. So screwy. Well, let's go. This isn't the missing ship. It's the Sepulveda bridge. Well, at least I found it. This appears to be the missing ship, the Sepulveda bridge. How did we get here? I'm still here too. But I'm a member of the crew of the bridge. Alexander. Rozhenko, is it? Yes. Very interesting. I'm just called Sherlock Holmes because that's what they nicknamed me on. That's my moniker on Trek Corps. I'm not really, though. That's not my real name. We're here too. Must be some sort of temporal pull going on. Pulled us here. But I haven't been able to research some of the this case before we were pulled into this, whatever this is. Apparently this Gummelt person is not all there. He posted on the internet on several fan sites in 2015, months before the release of Star Trek Beyond. Apparently this film was similar to his website, and he ran with it and said he was pitching to Star Trek because it was on his website. He wasn't. But very few of these sites did their fact-checking. And, yes, it got out of control. It just got out of control. And now he found a way to time travel and come back here. Guess he figures he could pitch again? I don't know. Yeah, but he didn't pitch in the first place. We tried to tell him that years ago. We tried to tell the internet that years ago. It didn't work. I wonder why we're here. We're transported somewhere else. I think he was planning on interfering with the past. With Starfleet Academy. He's planning on grabbing Picard. Hope he hasn't done that yet. He wanted to grab Picard, but he's barely in the Academy at this point. That is silly. Then again, he's a Sillian. He did not pitch to Star Trek. I, too, read of these trades back in the day. I laughed at them. Mockingly. If this ship's transporters still work, we should beam down to the planet and go look for them. If he changes history, it could be a disaster. We might cease to exist. The fact that we still exist here means he hasn't done whatever he was out to do yet. Or Q snatched us. Or both. Alright then, let's get going. We can't risk using the transporter. Suggest we get a shuttle. Just in case, in the middle of the transport, they don't, suck us into another universe or something. That'd be bad. I could remain aboard the ship, since I was here to begin with. After all, I'm only named Sherlock Holmes. I'm clearly not him. I'm not that good at sleuthing. Have fun. We must go down to the planet and find this mad Sillian before he abducts Picard. Let us go! And signal the rest of the crew so they know what's going on. Yes, sir.
This would appear to be the Sepulveda Bridge. The character we were studying. He came out here with the Sepulveda. Not sure why. What's his angle? Last reports indicate that he's an obsessed superfan of the Star Trek series. He became so obsessed that he thought that he was pitching to Paramount Pictures. This happened about 11 years ago, our time. But curiously, though, did he not know that Paramount and CBS are not related? I don't think he did. They broke apart after the time of Enterprise. So they're not related anymore. They seem to be on the Sepulveda. The obsessed Star Trek superfan pulled us here, or someone else. I didn't think he had that kind of power. I do understand some of the studio system stuff, though. I know that he couldn't have pitched. That they said so. So, what's going on? He knows he didn't pitch.
And I am Mr. Picard. I'm also known as Sam Clark. And Clark. Several different characters. Probably wouldn't appreciate the spoof of this character, but very well. Especially that Clark guy. He would be like, "What? Ah, now don't be insulting to me. But we're not trying to be insulting. I tried to explain it to Mr. Picard years ago. Now, unfortunately, I also tried to explain it to Patrick Stewart, who plays Picard, and he thought I was nuts. Then again, yes, it's subjective, isn't it? So this other character, yes, very interesting. But I did not pull you all here either. You were on that other ship then. But yes, he could not have pitched to Star Trek. Yet all those websites went with it, like he could. They really wanted to believe that he could pitch to Star Trek. To Paramount, no less. As you accurately pointed out, Paramount and CBS were not related. So if he was pitching to Paramount, well, they were no longer... They were divorced, basically. So yes, they wouldn't have been interested. You had to go to CBS, not Paramount.
Well, I'm sure they could have directed him. I'm sure they could have sent him in the right direction. But they didn't want to. And I was probably one of those people that encouraged it to continue as well. Yeah, even back then, with my know-how, yeah, so to speak, my clandestine powers, my sleuthing of my own. Yeah, because I was there. I shouldn't have encouraged him. Shouldn't have done it. So, kind of felt guilty about it. So I went over to, to try and stop it, but it was too late. He was on his way there in the fall of 2015 to pitch to Star Trek, to the studio. He went there. And when he went there, it didn't go over so well. Of course, they ignored him because he wasn't really a famous person. He wasn't really famous. He was nobody. And so they basically told him to get lost. He found some of us and complained to us. What was I going to do? I couldn't help him. But then he had to keep going with his story because all of those fanzines and internet websites and blogs were counting on him, or at least he thought they were. kept going. Kept going. If he's that nuts now, it's probably escalated 11 years later. And now we must find out where he is and what he's been doing down there. On the planet. It appears from sensors we are in the year 2323, and the stardate is indeed 0. Stardate Zero. What does that sound familiar? Ah, I know. Riker and Troy once explained it. There was a previous ship called the Chimera, before the Chimera, that Nick and the crew were flying around in. This previous Chimera was commanded by Cal Hazel and John Holder and their crew, and they existed around the time of the 2380s. And this other ship was pulled back into time to Stardate Zero to interact with a crew from another ship that was doing something similar. Perhaps this guy got a hold of that information and decided it was a good idea to come out here. The incident of the original Chimera. It's gotta be. He figured, why not go to an apex in Starfleet history that was bizarre, obscure, and yet so obvious. If he went back here, all of Starfleet would be in disarray. All chronometers on every starship would be completely messed up because it had to start over again. It would almost be like a doomsday. If he showed up here, there'd be no record of it. Kind of genius if you think about it. And now we're here. And we were spirited here because the next generation people began to disappear. Us. We're not sure how we got spirited here. Suppose they grabbed somebody from the next generation period. Knowing that most of the people on the Enterprise D were considerably older than Captain Picard, it wouldn't be any of them. Unless...
He's after Captain Picard. He's after Picard. Oh no! He's after Cadet Picard. If that happens, then the future ends. No next generation. None of them will have ever met. Time and space will be completely different. Oh dear. No, Picard, my love. No. We have to rescue him. We have to get down to the planet and rescue him.
Picard is your lover? Does he know this?
Well, in this timeline, not really. We haven't met yet. Where I come from, yes, he's my husband, wife. This timeline we haven't met, but several years from now we will. And our timelines will come together. In the 2360s, we will meet. Then fall in love. I am Mr. Picard, and he's other Picard. It's all very confusing, yes. Because I'm also this amalgamation, one of those Sillian things. Yes, I'm also similar to this teacher guy that the children of Pine Hill knew, Mr. Clark, yes. But yes, he wasn't really in love with Picard. But I'm also Mr. Picard, who was. In this particular iteration, anyway.
Explain later. We should find a way to get down to the planet. Maybe by shuttle. Just to make sure we don't mess up the timeline. I've always wondered about how that Sillian space is connected and all that. How we're inexorably connected to, by 78 years, by a thread, to that other universe and can travel between the two. We just never did it directly here, now, until now. Yeah, we never decided, we're going to go to visit 2326, for instance. But this is 3 years earlier than that. This is 2323. Interesting. All right, let's have a look. I'm sure we'll mess up the timeline if any of us goes down there. Probably shouldn't do that. Mr. Picard here should probably go with you. Or maybe he could stay here, I don't know.
I think I'm going to remain here. You may go down to the planet. The reason being, of course, that the younger Picard will not recognize me, and it would be creepy. In fact, I think he's Academy age, about the same as you girls over there. Yes, well, go down there. Don't fall in love with my younger self. Yes. Now, get going.
Not a chance. It's not going to happen. Let's go. Nice working with you again. Yeah. Ready for action, but not that. Let's move out.
I was wondering when we were going to show up. Strange. This appears to be Starfleet. Great. The alien has apparently brought us here. That's disturbing. So, what has he got in mind? His pitch story? Doesn't he know that even back then, Paramount Pictures wouldn't have allowed him to pitch? They said so in their guidelines. Admittedly, they did their guidelines 6 months later, but still, they said so in their guidelines. That screenplay that he wrote was never going to get published. Or teleplay, I guess is what it was. He thought it was a screenplay, but it was a teleplay. He also thought he was a showrunner, but he wasn't. Obviously, a writer is not a showrunner. Was that why we were pulled here? We needed to work on that script and rewrite it. It wouldn't have sold at all. That script was just really amateurish. Ugh. Okay, I confirm that the Paramount rules say no unsolicited, unagented subscriptions. No submissions at all. Nothing like that. Any show shows up at CBS, a script, they will toss it out. Movie or TV show. Now, Paramount, which you originally pitched to, is not the TV side, not back then. So, you should have pitched to CBS. Yeah, just saying. Yeah, now it's together. But they still don't allow some script submissions. There was a long script. Yeah, you wrote a very long script. It was too long. You see, in television, a script is typically, each page is a minute. So if you've got a 60-minute script, you've got a 60-page script, it's going to be 60 minutes. So it's an hour, roughly. So, but you have a 200-page script here. It's a little long. Yeah. Also, you shouldn't include actor faces and biographies from actors that are not in your movie. Not even in the show's Bible. Don't do that. You don't need to add commercial breaks, and you don't need to add excessive dialogue explaining every little detail. Script, that will be thrown out. Yeah, you just want, And above all, do not put yourself in the script. The Mary Sue or Gary Stu is legend. Don't put yourself in it. But I want to put myself in it. I'm so powerful. And the powerful half-Asian character with wonderful powers. Yeah. For some reason, I'm starting to sound like Wesley. I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Yes, I have looked into this unusual. Yes, apparently this Gummelt guy has conjured up a primitive holodeck for us to be on the planet in 2323. Very well. Well, if we are to look at his script, and we have, let us examine it and see whether it is worthy. I do not think it is worthy, because right away it has such things as references to other Star Trek episodes and references to other shows. Do not do that. Plagiarizing and using the other ideas from other shows is going to get your script rejected. You cannot use catchphrases from The Wrath of Khan, for instance. Yes. If there's a speech from Kirk, Picard, Sisko, or Janeway that you really wanted to use, you shouldn't. Because that's just cribbing from someone else's work. Wait a minute. Even as young Jean-Luc Picard, here in this timeline. Even here, I've looked at the script as well. Are you trying to tell me that this simple teleplay you wrote is a movie or a show? Rather confused. Because it's not a movie or a show. It is simply a script. Yes, it's a teleplay. You might have revised it a few times, but yes, it is just a teleplay. A rather long, lengthy teleplay. A miniseries, maybe. All these things add to my greatness, but I appreciate the content. I pitched to Star Trek. I said it on several weblog websites. all over what you call the internet. I let my friends post for me, and I posted for me. I interviewed with them, and they interviewed me until they were everywhere. We were everywhere. And then it all went away. Because that Star Trek Beyond movie eventually came out. Well, not this time. You Sillians are clever, but not more clever than me. Guess what I did? Haha. I traveled backward in time. To Stardate Zero. Now, I will rewrite the next generation. You see, Stardate Zero is where the next generation started. I pitched my script instead of the pilot where no man has gone before. Ha 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 ha! I will be the captain of the ship. And I will have glorious things happen to me. Ha ha. You want to be a showrunner, do you, laddie? Huh, that's different. You realize you're just a writer if you were on the show. You'd just be a writer, not a showrunner. This show's Bible you've written of these characters is kind of a mess. And it's included in the script, which is weird. You don't do that. Nor do you use ship model designs you took from your friends. Or people you don't know, especially. And musical cues. And other cues, and things like that. Not to be confused with Q, of course. He's probably around here somewhere. What you've described here, at one point, is a large space battle. You go into the space battle quite a bit. You see... Oh, and then there's a fight in a bar as well, to introduce us to the strong female character. Of course, your male characters are just as strong and obnoxious. There's a bar fight. Now, explicitly in the script, it doesn't actually say she's an Orion. She just acts like one. So we don't need to bring Tendi into this, do we? I mean, we could, but we don't need to. That's okay. We won't. No. That would be confusing. So we won't. Someone else will represent her in this weird multi-user shared hallucination. Yes. So, show's Bible, huh? Should make notes, though. Don't use technobabble everywhere. Usually in the script, in the screenplay for Star Trek, usually said stuff like tech, and they'd put it in later. Anyway, showrunner's Bible. You do that quite a bit in here. So let's look at those characters. You see, you need to get to the point. You see, you need to get to the point quickly. It's television. Every minute counts. Every minute of dialogue. TV count. You set up the story. Boom. That's different here, though. This is Go Motion fan film that tells and doesn't show. But that's different. I thought the show's Bible should be included with the show, so everybody knows what the showrunner wants. I'm going to be the showrunner, too. I pitched, and I'm going to pitch again. I'm going to change destiny itself. You'll see. Well, first rule of coming up with a decent story, even any kind of decent story, really, is you need to come up with interesting characters with motivations and human-sounding voices. If your dialogue does not sound human, they sound like alien robots or stereotypes, no one wants to read the story. Human people need to sound, well, human. Two people are having an argument. For instance, two people are having an argument, but in this case, you have a scene, it's not like the bar scene, which is fairly alright. You have an admiral and an underling arguing with each other. That's not going to happen. An admiral is not going to argue back to an underling, a subordinate. He's just not. The admiral is going to dress him down and kick him out of his office. He's not going to deal with him. That is not logical. A younger officer is not going to behave that way. This is not a frat party. They are a quasi-military. Star Trek. It's Starfleet. Also, describing various expressions is not necessary, such as wink or nod or smile or grin, frown. The actor is going to do that when he reads the lines. And the director, yes. The director will direct the actor, and the actor will do the lines. A director can turn any script into something good. Usually. But yeah, it's not just the writer's fault if a script is bad. It's both the writer, the director, and then the producer's fault for signing off on it. The head writer, you wouldn't be the head writer, would sign off on it. In case in point, this particular fan film story, as I break the fourth wall, is sort of a form rewrite of the discussion of your fan film, not the actual fan film. Yes. Fascinating. Dude, how come your story's like Star Wars and stuff? That's kind of weird. You go to a planet where there's like a bar and stuff, and it's on a desert planet. It's like that Tatooine planet, and there's a Ferengi there, and he's basically playing Greedo or something. I'm not sure what's going on, dude. And yeah, and you're gonna go to a planet, and then you're gonna do what we did on the Voyager show. You're gonna like go, okay, we're gonna go across the galaxy, but you want to take it a step beyond and go to another galaxy entirely, the Andromeda Galaxy, because Star Wars is in another galaxy, I guess. Dude, okay, that's kind of lame. Dude, can't do that. There's plenty of places to go in our galaxy. We don't need to go into another one already. Yeah, dude. And Tatooine? Haven't we done that to death? I realize there's been new Star Wars since the script was written 11 years ago or so. Wow, dude. Dude. Bummer, dude. Ha. We were over this at the staff meeting years ago when you came to us with the script. Yes, it was rather amusing when we read it and sort of mocked it. Especially the part about Star Wars and the part about Stargate Andromeda. Yes, why? I've been meaning to ask you for years. Why Andromeda? Why did you want to go to Andromeda? That's just... Why? What was your reasoning there? They're just curious. Well, these other shows were already going everywhere else. We'd seen the Alpha Quadrant, the Beta Quadrant, the Gamma Quadrant, and the Delta Quadrant. Well, some of them. And I thought the galaxy had been explored, so I was going to go somewhere else with another ship and crew. Because, sure, why not? I figured, if it's another galaxy I can start completely over. I didn't stop to think, well, would that make sense in the story? Would make sense to have the characters completely inhuman and being in another galaxy? Well, if you say it that way, it really doesn't make sense. I would never admit to it. This is a rather large galaxy. We do not need to go into another one. Even by the 32nd century, they have not gone to another galaxy. I don't think. Well, maybe they did. The Universe-class ship, but I don't think so. Well, yes, I think they're still in our galaxy in that one. Of course, that did have a bizarre, spin-off from 2017 or so, our timeline. And, yes, we won't go into that, nor will we go into why they were there in the distant future, because that's another can of worms. No, if we did that, it'd be like back in the day on Trek Corps, and we'd be, sent to the Kobayashi Maru, which is the point of no return sector. You'd be sent to that thread and gone. I miss it. I do. Well, not bringing it back, though. Or not. At least we can see Chimera's stuff. Apparently a voice actor on the Galcat stuff for the Starship Locations. Yes. Wink. Wink, wink, wink. Yes. Never put yourself in a story unless you're him. That's the rule. I should have introduced myself earlier. Why, I'm you, Mike Gummelt. But I'm also Harry Kim. And I'm also a bunch of other people. Yes, Bertham and all that. I'm you 11 years ago. Yes. Excellent. From my perspective, yes. Pitching this script. Only person that pretentious. Bring myself into it. Yes, that's how pretentious this is. So, let us talk about transhumans. Yes, I'm Gummelt, and you were talking to my other self. But that's okay, because I remember it. 11 years ago. This program is amazing. It's probably also cute. But no, I guess Andromeda really doesn't make any sense. Yes, I'm sorry about that. But I just wanted to do something different, you see. Something unusual. So you started watching my version of the blog here on the internet. I see, before I arrived. Ah, splendid. Now you know everything. Now you know it all. Trans, human, robots. Yes, for some reason the internet thought that was really cool and posted pictures of it everywhere. Even though it was, that was kind of screwy. What's going on there? Oh my, I'm pretty sure that the character in my series, Lower Decks, was not inspired by your character, but merely the idea of your character. Or a character like it. I should probably say that. Like it. Because that wouldn't make sense that we were in the same ballpark, even remotely. It's probably just you were thinking of Geordie LaForge with his visor. Did you not know that Geordie LaForge was named after George LaForge, who was a Star Trek fan who was wheelchair bound? It was named after him. But he wasn't blind. My character is supposed to be blind. But he uses an enhanced visor to see. Who we're probably thinking of is a Borg. Now they went on about this whole thing. Oh, it could be just a remaindered Borg. And there were some series that did something like that. In the Excalibur book series, New Frontiers. As well as others who used a reformed Borg. Most famous of which, of course, is Star Trek Voyager, 7 of 9. So a reformed Borg is not all that unusual. A transhuman person, in other words, a person with robotic enhancements, not the other kind of trans, is basically like a Borg, a cyborg. It's what a cyborg is. I'm not sure if you knew that, or whether you just thought it would be cool, but you got a bunch of people to print stuff about it, including a cheesy picture that you stole off the internet and then used as picture. Yeah, that was a fan's picture. That wasn't. That was not yours to use. You just used it.
Besides, wouldn't a Borg character have a different individuality? He would be very robotic, yes, like the dialogue indicates, but not everybody should sound robotic. It's just odd. But yes, trans person as in robot per person. Yes, not the other kind. The other kind is different. We are really bringing that up because you seem confused about that. What's the difference? Yeah, mainly that's probably the internet that's confused, because I don't think you would be that dense, would you? Come on. Yes. We will explain later about that kind of stuff when it comes up again. But yes, a trans person is someone who identifies as a different gender and sexual orientation. But we can mention that later, I guess.
Yeah, well, I hope that this program doesn't discuss everything. All the weird parts of my psyche that are in here. I don't swing that way, but you'd think I did. Now that I read this years later, I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah, now you want to hear about how I was such a fan of the Big Bang Theory that I wanted to include the actress from the Big Bang Theory, Kaylee Kuko, in my story. Yeah, let's talk about that. What? She wouldn't have done that. Yes, that would be screwy. Very well, you may proceed.
Yeah, although my character is technically not the one you were thinking of. We couldn't actually get someone from another TV show to be on here, and you did that a lot in your stories, by the way. Yeah, you were like, oh, I'm going to reference other shows. At one point, the characters from Big Bang Theory do a sketch in your script. That wouldn't happen. And they do the penny thing with the knock on the door. What? Okay, so I'm not her, obviously. But I can totally talk about it.
I just thought it would be funny to have a ditzy girl character in it who was just like falling over herself, even though she's an officer and stuff. Including, I just wanted to include, a ditzy blonde character. Because, that'd be good. We'll just do that.
Well, first of all, it's offensive, and second of all, how would she be in Starfleet if she was that much of a klutz? Yes, as was pointed out in many of these reviews, no women in Star Trek should act like that. Although, granted, some of those newer shows since then, they kind of do, because the writers don't know what they're doing, and the director let them do it. So in some cases, like on Strange New Worlds this season, there are some women characters that kind of behave a little insubordinate, let's say. Maybe not ditzy, but insubordinate. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do dumb chicks. That's messed up. That's like you're saying, oh, yeah, don't dumb chicks. Yeah, it's just... And anyway, Penny's smart. She just isn't a physicist. So, yeah, your whole backstory in your show's Bible here, that's what we're looking at. She wouldn't behave like that. Why would she be playing her character from the show? Doesn't make sense. Don't do that. Yeah. Just don't. Just don't compare the two. They're not similar. Don't do that. You'd be better off if you didn't do that.
Well, I like including strong females, too. Yeah, I totally do. I include strong females. Yeah, I included a warrior chick, like Summer Glau from Firefly, and another one that was an Orion chick, and she's all kind of sexy. And then I included this other one that's a Delton chick, and she's all sexy. Ooh, because it's sexy. Ah. Yeah, I probably should have thought that through, too, as well.
Summer Glau from Firefly. You literally were going to cast Summer Glau from Firefly in your story. I don't think she knows. Yeah, she played River Tam on that show. I don't think she would be flattered about being in your shipping story. That's basically what this is. It's a shipping story. Why don't you just market it as a shipping story and not a pitch to Star Trek? That's what everybody's on about. If you just admitted, just wanted to have like warrior chicks fight each other, do that in your shipping story. Don't go all over the internet claiming you posted when you didn't. You pitched to Star Trek when you didn't. But yeah, Summer would not want to be in your story. No. Screwy. So you have two stereotypes. You have sort of, well, you have three actually. You have your ditzy blonde, and you have your warrior woman thing who's bordering on being butch, and you have a sex pot, catsuit lady, basically. Those are stereotypes. Those are not real. Those are stereotypes. That is not how you do a script. No. I don't know how Rutherford or I got here through the time warp, but we did, and it doesn't matter because it's just all in fun. But Rutherford and I guess, were sort of anchors for this guy because clearly Mike McMahon, who wrote Lower Decks, was aware of his, everybody was aware of his script, and he just kind of used elements and made them into different characters. It appears kind of, a little bit, that his transhuman character on that show inspired Rutherford, and that the Orion girl inspired me. Tendy. Yes. Tendy. Yes. So she has a stereotype. She's a warrior, but she's horny, because Orions are horny. She's kind of Ripley. She's kind of, not quite River Tim, but horny. And she's a slave master, like BDSM shit. And I don't do that. Yeah. A little too old to be doing that. Well, maybe you're never too old to be doing that. I don't know. But in any case, a stereotype. The Orion pirate would be even more stereotypical. Yes. Orion scientist, that's it, yes. It's from the Lower Decks. But yeah, I don't think he was thinking of that, because that was 11 years ago. So, our time. If McMahon probably in the back of his head had read your show's Bible, well, he wasn't necessarily cribbing the characters, because their names are different. And he changed it from a stereotype to a reasonable character. So that's different. So there's a scene in here involving some later characters. We can go into that too. But I will let the Delton, quote-unquote, go into that.
It would appear that this character, at least 11 years ago, was not getting laid very much. That's probably what it was. He was just horny. He's like, I want all my characters to be horny. Really, really good at meeting women. Well, stereotypes of women. Yes.
I see that some of our crew See that some of our crew have been pulled here, and we're all seemingly here with some crews from the other timelines that shouldn't be here. Yeah, apparently something like Q is messing with us. So what is this weird holodeck thing? And you want me to talk about, like, warrior women and stuff, and oversexed Deltans? Because I really don't know much about oversexed Deltans. Warrior women, I like those. Yeah. Anyway, so, yeah. I think he was overcompensating. I think he was like, I was being real misogynistic and weird and stereotypical. So you know what I'll do is I'll just include some tough women amongst the ones that aren't so tough. Yeah, I guess what's going on. Yes. Well, Dueck, I think you nailed that. But let us discuss the horny Deltan. As you know, the Betazoids were basically a rewrite of the Deltans. They were meant to be sort of new version of the Deltans. And Deanna Troi, my mother in Star Trek, yes. Because I'm Kestra Riker. Just thought I'd point that out. A number of stereotypes with the original origin of the Deltans, played by the late Pierces Kambata. It was the late 70s, and they were like, ooh, exotic Indian lady. How awesome. Let's include that in the story. And she has exotic powers. It's just a little stereotypical. And so she was made to be empathic, but extremely empathic. To the point of, oh, you suddenly like me because you heal me. And that's not how that works, but that's what she was. She was extremely empathic. And there was a cutscene in Star Trek The Motion Picture where there were a couple of cutscenes involving that, where they just took them out because they were kind of sexist. Including one of Chekhov, like going, another one of Chekhov getting healed and going, doing it again. Mostly Chekhov. And not Kirk, oddly enough. Yeah. And so yeah, we won't go into that. But the point was that they were, sort of oversexed, like, Asian people, which is weird that they would do that. But that's what they were doing. And you don't want to include one in your show. Now, granted, it has been some years since this show idea, 11 years, and they have since created, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, a spin-off, a Star Trek spin-off from this time period, from the 2320s. I think it's 2324 in that one, so it was roughly one digit off of Stardate Zero, 1,000, year 1,200 and something of that calendar. So it was a little bit off from here, and it was probably the Terran Empire, and in it there was a Delta. Anyway, I don't think they were thinking of you, though. They had a transhuman in it as well, but they weren't thinking of you. I don't think they were. No. Yeah, so that is basically, she's an empath. Like Deanna Troi is an empath. She has oath of celibacy line, yes, but that really didn't make any sense. So in saying that you're being empathic, they can be sensual without meaning, I want to have sex with everybody. And then you make the weird oddity of that if this character in your story, who is like a Deltan, not necessarily a Deltan, gets too over with the sex in her thoughts, she can become pregnant. That is bullshit. That is not how the Deltans work. That's not how the Bajorans work either. So there you go. That's my story. That's my rant for you. Yeah. Similar to the rant years ago from a certain Voyager actor, we won't actually name names, who ranted at your blog as well.
I kind of forgot I put her in there. Yeah. Can we talk about all the minutia and extra character roles added to this instead? And what I was thinking with the engineering scene, where I was like, the technobabble got really, really out of hand, and your guys' suggestion from, I guess, mainly Chimera, and some of you guys over there at TrekCore suggest, for the technobabble, they're going to add that later. I went on for the longest time about gluons, because I learned what gluons were, and I don't honestly know what I was thinking, because, that's not going to be relevant anywhere. And saying the computer was more powerful than the previous Enterprise computer is redundant and silly. I don't know why I did that. Yes, I thought this part was brilliant. To not only include myself, but to include a jerky character, because that's another, what you call a stereotype. what you call a stereotype, I call an awesome machismo guy. You know, somebody who puts everybody in their place. Yeah, there's got to be an antagonist. Yeah, so there was. And one of the crewmen is a total jerkwad. Yeah, I put him in the story. Yeah, on their way to Andromeda, they got to encounter this guy. Also, the scientist kind of is too. Yeah. Yeah. This is ludicrous. People on a starship, on a military organization, are not going to act like a-holes. And if they do, they're going to be kicked off the ship very quickly. Or security will throw them in the brig. Yes, a-holes are common, though, in silly Trek. But that's only because we make fun of them. Yes. Yes, besides, I wanted to show a juxtaposition about the studly male misogynistic captain guy, the big sweaty muscles, juxtaposed to the underling who is kind of incompetent. Kind of like in that Starcrackers thing with Calcat. Yeah, because the captain guy. The captain wasn't with sweaty muscles, was he? Yeah, I forgot about it. I'm thinking of something else. It's weird. Anyway, but there was a jerk guy in it. Maybe that's why you wanted to set it in another galaxy. You're trapped on the ship with the a-hole. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to do that. But yeah, your Mary Sue story has too much mansplaining, as they now call it. Misogyny. Yeah, and stuff like that. You don't want your characters dogging each other and flipping out every other week. That's annoying. Professionals wouldn't do that. They wouldn't behave like that. And the Delton wouldn't behave like that. There's a girl with boobies. Way, gay. Oh, yes. Great, yes. I understand the sexist frat boy comedy thing, but it's kind of dated and doesn't really work. Unless, of course, it's Starfleet Academy. But they're supposed to be frat boys, so it makes sense. Unlike the Abrams Too Young Kirk in 2009 and 2012, and yeah, later on. Unlike that. Yeah, 2015, 2016. So yeah, don't do that. Because it's a bad idea. I was not a Gummelt character. Brad Boymore. How did I get here? Also, I was more of a Calcat character. Anyways, so yeah, we have, I'm going to discuss the captain, who was a horn dog. He's kind of like Kirk, and for some reason, he's like a copy of, Kirk. It's just hornier. Because, the new Abrams Star Trek movies, that's what you were thinking of. Probably where you came up with the site name, Star Trek Beyond, and why they sent you a cease and desist letter and told you, take the domain name down, or we're going to take it anyway, and rename it something else. Then you renamed it Star Trek Uncharted, copying the Uncharted games, because that makes sense. Yeah, so title drop. Yeah, so there's your horn dog captain. I think your first officer is kind of nonplussed in this. Where is your first officer? Do you have a first officer? Is he? Oh, she's miking them. Oh, your first officer is you. I see. Yes, hot, brilliant German Asian crossbreed guy. Yeah, the first officer is you. Well, of course, the first officer is you. How would I have guessed? You would make yourself the captain. I guess you're being a little more self-effacing. You're like, well, I put myself in the story, but I won't make myself the captain. I'll make myself the first officer. I see. And with sweaty muscles, no less. And no, Colonel Clark from the original show of Starcrackers and Space Vanguards was not very muscly. Not really. Yeah. I totally put myself in the computer in this. I totally put myself in this as the first officer. Yeah. That would explain my appearance younger in the scenario. Yeah, you just sit here and listen to my story about my fan film pitch. Yeah, until you follow me and then return to the other dimension. It'll be beautiful. I never intended for my first officer guy to be the epitome of my form, or race, or whatever, or crossover group. I just did it. I figured, why not? Yeah. No, here you all are. I'm Cutie. And also, let you be known that your story references the ship's computer. As the computer voice all explained as being really awesome and more advanced than the Enterprise D, and more powerful than the old Enterprise by several times. And why didn't you just make him an EMH? A holographic man. Would have made more sense. Yes. A holographic man, he manifests from the computer and he just walks around, talks. Probably would have made more sense, but do what you want. The Borg guy could be a computer too. Ooh. I need a refresher here in my story. See, I included a cross-dressing gay man in it as well. He runs around the ship because I feared there should be a tranny gay guy on the ship. You know, like Garrick was kind of gay and stuff. It didn't work. And I noticed the newer show, Star Trek Discovery, totally did that. There's some gay guys, and there was like some trans guys. So I was like, but that was later on. You know, the show came out 2 years after the alleged pitch. I still won't admit that it didn't happen. I still say it happened. There was a pitch. I pitched it. It became Star Trek Discovery, Lower Decks, and all that. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Now that I have time travel powers, I can make that actually happen for real, instead of in my mind. Oops, I just admitted it. Yes. Now that I have you all. Ha ha ha. But yes, explain to me first about this, the difference between those things.
I don't know how I got here either, but I shall explain it to you. A cross-dresser is a man who swings both ways, usually. He may not necessarily be, gay. He may just like to dress up like a woman. A transsexual is what you're thinking of? Yes, that character is really stereotypical. Don't do that. It's dumb. And also, the guy on the other Star Trek show didn't actually dress up in a dress. He was actually gay. It's different. He's a gay guy. So, a transgender is a person who identifies with the opposite sex, or vice versa, or other sex, or intersex. There are several versions. It's a spectrum. And a transgender person, some of them want to become the other sex, but some do not. It depends. So yeah, and they exist. They're a thing. You think in the future, though, it wouldn't be a problem. In the 23rd or 24th century, it'd be like, oh, there's a gay man over there. I didn't notice. Yeah, honestly, they wouldn't really notice. Yeah, so there's a gay lady over there. So what? Wouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be. Yeah, so that's the trouble with all the modern haters on the internet. Stemmed off of all of this, in a sense, because they got mad about Gummelt's pitch here. And they were all like, haha. Yes, well, some of them did. Well, why can't we pitch to Star Trek? Our Star Trek is better. That kind of idea. Yeah, not directly, indirectly. And so, yes, that's my rant. And besides, it's rather stereotypical and cheesy to put a gay character in a story, only because you wanted to have a gay character in a story. They didn't even do it right on Discovery. They went with the kill the gay guy thing, and then they realized what they had done, and brought him back through some kind of demigod, mumbo-jumbo technical babble thing. And then when they brought him back, he was just a normal guy again. Although he was rather buff. Not that I'd be interested in that kind of thing. I don't do dudes. And that's another thing. On Deep Space Nine, they had Dax with another lady. They were just trying to do the whole... they weren't trying to be progressive. They just wanted a hot lesbian kissing scene. Yeah, that's not progressive. That's just a hot lesbian kissing scene. Just so you know, we're not going to have one of those. Not here. Although, as my character of Dueck, I would never admit to anything like that. But let's just say that in Star Trek, in regards to race relations in the future, and gender relations, that would probably be a non-issue. People would just be human. People would just be human on a starship. There wouldn't be like a thing. Yeah. As for a gay character being on the Star Trek, you did include one, a cross-dressing one, and that's very stereotypical. Yeah. Don't do that. We already dealt with the sweaty muscles part.
So you're saying, so you guys are saying don't include gay stereotypes. So you guys are saying don't include gay stereotypes, but you can include gay people. Just be careful about it. Well, I wasn't very careful with any of my characters. Yeah, I admittedly, it was a draft, and then I rewrote it a couple times. I even wrote stuff. I even wrote a lot about fights and tactical scenes. Whereas I was describing all of the scenes, not realizing that in a screenplay, or a teleplay for that matter, more like a teleplay, you don't do that because you have basically an hour to tell the story. You have 60 pages. That's it. Sometimes shorter. Nowadays, with commercial breaks, it's probably more like 45 pages. I understand that now. But yes, we are still going to keep what we're doing. And I wanted to put myself in the story. And I wanted to go to Andromeda. Because I didn't want to deal with here, in this galaxy. That was my motivation. I even had a story arc about sabotaging the ship, which they do on Star Trek a lot. And I dropped that in the middle of the script. Because it was more of a novella miniseries. And the misogyny, yeah, my character, he doesn't get laid much. If at all. Yeah. Not much of an epiphany there. Yeah. So, as you can see, that's his pitch. He also mentioned the story. I could summarize what basically happens, because that's kind of not in the script here. The starship in the story is another version of the Enterprise. It goes on a new mission to a warp gate that takes it to another galaxy, to Andromeda. They sort of meet an alien preserver type thing there on the other side of the galaxy. And then they come back, basically. This was told in 3 hours, with a lot of character exposition. 3 hours of time. A lot of story arc. The sabotage thing is dropped. Probably just missed the ending of that. Or they figured out how to stop it. He did a lot of rewrites in 2015, 2016. Some in 2017. But he doubled down. He decided that he should talk about the pitch he allegedly did. And there he just sounded even more unhinged. Yeah, desperate. And went on about all these other things that supposedly happened. Talking to the Paramount producers as a showrunner with the show's Bible in hand. The show's Bible, for your explanation, is the characters and story of a story. With the characters, situation, plot device, all that. We've essentially, in this mission here, gone over the show's Bible of that story. But in a way to make it more fun, more palatable. Now, can we all go back to where we were? Because you're not going to take young Picard out of time. That's just, Stardate Zero is all this is, yeah. So, Yes, we, Trek Corps people, I, Prometheus, I'm gonna allow you to do this. After I was a space zombie alien, I developed some Sillian powers. Together, we Sillians can simply pull you out as an antagonist and take you back. It's rather easy. So, either come along quietly or we will do so. And I, Mr. Picard, long to see a younger version of Patrick. I mean, Picard. As much as anybody. But, yes, he should be returned, and we should leave him alone. Return to our time period. But if he remembers all of this, it would be kind of confusing. Especially him. No, he must be returned as well. We all must be returned to our timeline. Yes. The future must proceed. We came from over 80 years in the future. The next generation must happen. Just as it should. Yes, I suppose you'll be stealing my speech to use in another teleplay. I'm sure you've written hundreds of them, right? By now, you have to be something like... it's been 11 years, and, this Cal Hazel guy has written dozens of scripts, if not 20, 30 of them, in this series alone. So, of course, you totally have all kinds of fan scripts and shipping stories, don't you? All sorts of them. And we can read them. Yes, and adapt them. Yeah, well, there was just the one claim that I pitched to Star Trek. Yeah. We did pitch to Star Trek. We did pitch to Star Trek. We did. We pitched to that Mike McMahon guy. Lower decks. It'd come later. Yeah, that's it. From what I'm told. From your future. From our future. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd say I was in love with myself. Really, really in love with myself. Yeah. No, I can't be in love with myself. It can't just be about me. Where do you all go? Yes. You guys, come on. Dun dun. Dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh no. Help me to get back. Help me to get back, Picard. Help me to get back, Picard. I'll make it right. I will. Help me to get back, please. I don't know how to do that, strange older man. I am only Cadet Jean-Luc Picard. Perhaps your ship will beam you back up. That would be nice. And then you could go boldly, when none dared go before. I have no idea what I was thinking. Q, me back. Q, come on. Q, bring me back. I beg of you. Didn't quite learn your lesson, did you, boy? The only reason the internet was even interested in you was because of me. You should have taken it on account. And I should have paid it forward. You should have taken into account those internet blogs. It was me. I was the one that spread it all over the universe. Because I liked you too. But for different reasons. Strange reasons. I'm Q, after all. It was a test. And you didn't pass. You failed. Well, I can, of course, return you to the Sepulveda, and they can return to the present. But know this. It shan't not happen again. Since we're all alone here, just have you know that, I only wrote the one story. Yeah, I'm not really a Star Trek superfan. I mean, how could I be? I only wrote one story. I don't even have a book out. I don't even have a book on Amazon. In these 11 years, I could have written one. I didn't. Now's the time, I guess. Well, there's no time like the present, is there? Yes. Yeah, I guess not. This is Stardate Zero. Gummelt to the Sepulveda. Beam me up. Gummelt to the Sepulveda. Beam me up. What the hell are you doing down there? Get back up here. Beam him up. Happy 60th anniversary, Star Trek. Admiral's Log, Stardate 2403.1. All seems to be well. The Esteban and the Sepulveda have been returned to their timelines correctly. And Gummelt has been taken in for psych evaluation. Yes. Will no longer be a threat to the Sillians, or to the space-time continuum. We hope.
It's not really a Section 12 problem, that's for sure. Yes. It seems that he thought he was pitching to Star Trek. He's very delusional. Odd. He really, really thought he was. With one story. One 3-hour-long story. No others. No others since. Just a lot of like blogs and complaining, stuff like that. The report is quite disturbing.
Yes, well, there are some obsessed Star Trek fans, that's for sure. And it's very strange that, even though I'm now in an android body, I do remember him visiting me 80 years ago. 80 years ago, 2323, when they turned the Stardates over to Zero. For some reason, they decided to do that in all of Starfleet. That is odd. Why would they do that? Why would they decide, oh, we need to change the Stardates because Jean-Luc Picard is at the Academy? Surely it couldn't have been about me. That's ridiculous. Ah, that would suggest that I was the Mary Sue and the inspiration for their timeline. But that would be ridiculous. Yes. Patently ridiculous. It's like obsessed Star Trek fans were writing about us. Before we were even a thing. Probably that great Bird of the Galaxy guy is probably in charge of it. Yeah, he does stuff like that. Q of something. But not the Q that's over there. It wasn't me, Jean-Luc. Although I'm not your Q. I'm QT from the other universe. Well, the Picard LaForge universe. One of your fan film things. And that guy over there is another version of Sam Clerk. Yes, your husband-wife in one dimension at least. Because in the future, it doesn't matter if you're gay. Yes, I kind of apologize for doing that. Yes, I may have inadvertently created the timeline and wasn't aware of it. Yes, put the thought in someone's head back there. Yes, It's not your fault. You didn't know you were going to do that. Anyway, I should be getting back to my ship as well. I'm, of course, obsessed with Captain Kirk, as our whole troop is obsessed with Captain Kirk and Spock. Kirk and Spock. It's never called Spurk, it's Kirk Spock. KS. Now, I will be going. Come, Mr. Picard. Not you, but my Mr. Picard. Oh, confusing timeline. Silly. Yes, let us return, but I bid you adieu. Till we meet again. Au revoir. Au revoir, mon ami. Mon Dieu. Au revoir, mon ami. Yes. We're not going to become a thing. Unless you mean that other Picard guy I was with. Oh, my.
Yes, it seems the timeline has a few hitches in it, but that's okay. You are back, and everything seems to be as it was.
Wait a minute, our timeline is still confused. I remember all the way to 2413. Back to 2408, 2404. These events, they are confusing. If I am actually a year earlier than I should be, what's going on? How do we get back? That's confusing. Don't worry about it, Mr. Alexander. These things straighten themselves out sooner or later. And if not, they can always reboot everything. Yes. All I know is this is not supposed to be a pilot. It's just a fan film. Yes, because it wouldn't make a very good pilot. Not just a random list of characters and stereotypes. Kind of sounds like some of the newer Star Trek. That's odd. Perhaps he had more influence on the past than I thought. More red tape for Starfleet and temporal people. Yes, that do that. Yeah. Picard to Enterprise G. Beam us up. Picard to Enterprise G. Beam us up. Your travelers on the Esteban. Go anywhere, anywhen. See you around, Alexander Rozhenko. What do you mean by that? Oh, well, I'm not going to worry about it. Take us out of here. Engage.
please state your name and rank in Starfleet. For the record. And note that I'm a Bajoran, and I'm also a Beta Z, and I can read your thoughts. But I won't.
I'm Lieutenant Michael Gummelt. Commander, yeah. Sepulveda. Yeah. The Enterprise Sepulveda. Yeah, special ship. More powerful. You know, I pitched to Star Trek in 2015. And that goes with the 2390s. 2015, yes. 2390s. Stardate Zero. Went to Stardate Zero. Tried to get Picard. Didn't work. Stopped with a Q and some Sillians. I'm sorry I did that. But I had to pitch to Star Trek. Let's pitch to Star Trek 2015. Picard thing was later. 11 years later. I know all these things. It's now 23. Yeah. It's now 2026, isn't it? 2304. Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Please tell me about this trip you made back to the past. About 80 years ago. Start at the beginning.
Well, it all started when some friends of mine and I decided to go to the Trek movie website and a bunch of other websites on our blog and post. Yeah. You're a counselor, right? So I can tell you all this. Yeah. Yeah, we posted. And we got the internet to pay attention to us. And when we did, they thought I was going to pitch to Star Trek. Yeah. And then I did. I went down there in November of 2015 and I pitched to Star Trek. And I talked to them. And everything. It was amazing. And they made me the showrunner of the new Star Trek movie. Yeah. Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, they totally did. They loved my website and everything. They loved it so much, they took it and named the movie after my website. It was really awesome. Yes. Yes, and then I pitched to Star Trek, and they launched the entire new Star Trek series from then on. Yeah, all of them. They're all based on me.
Wait a minute. You say that you pitched to Star Trek. That's interesting. Okay, tell me about what happened when you pitched Star Trek. Yeah, yes, you totally did. Tell me about that.
It's a long story. It was a brilliant story. It was about another Enterprise in the future that goes to the distant galaxy Andromeda. And it has all these quirky characters on the show, because I just knew these actors would totally want to be in it. And they're going to go to Andromeda. It's going to be awesome. And like, characters like, like Bruce Willis and Sean Connery and Kaylee Kuko and Sigourney Weaver and Summer Glau. They were all going to be in it, because I said they were. And I had their pictures up on my website. And then Paramount, they told me, the website, they said, they sent me a letter. They wanted the website. They wanted the web.
What did it say? Besides, of course, your Jules and Michael stuff. What did the letter actually say? You can tell me.
It said they wanted to take the website domain name because they have a movie coming out. And basically said, you can't use that name anymore. Yeah. And then I kind of have an episode, and then I went on the internet and I talked to all my friends. They had this great idea. They were all like, "Why don't you post like you actually got a letter from Star Trek responding to you, and you pitched to them? Yeah, good idea. I'm gonna blame them. Yeah, they was their idea. I'm gonna blame them."
I see. You do realize that there are millions of Star Trek fans, right? And that one person that produces one teleplay or short story on the internet cannot possibly do that. That is pitched to Star Trek in the tense. Yes, there were guidelines, there were rules. There were rules. It's in the record. I know.
The guidelines were made after I pitched. Yeah, that's it. They were made after I pitched. I'd gone down there as a showrunner, and I pitched the story. It became Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, Brian Fuller was there and everything. It was amazing. I told him how awesome Star Trek is, and how important it is to the universe, and how the diversity and all that is important to the universe. Even though originally I wasn't really considering diversity at all. I wanted to be in Star Trek. Like most Trekkies. Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got Sillian powers and convinced a crew to go with you back in time to attempt to erase Captain Picard from history. You do realize that in a quasi-military organization such as Starfleet, I think you're in a lot of trouble. Yes. A lot more trouble than it would have been if you just admitted, well, that there was no pitch. There never was. You made it up. You just made it up. You never went down there. You were never there.
You can't prove I was never there. I can't prove I was never there. I totally was. I was there. I was there. You guys are just using me. It's a test. It's Q again. Yeah.
We can discuss the ramifications of that idea later. However, you will have to be more psych-evaluated. Messing with space-time is not good. Yes. But, as the ship's counselor, I do have sort of an NDA of my own. Yes. What's in the report is in the report, though. Going to recommend a hearing in court-martial. And, yeah, you'll be drummed out of Starfleet, of course. You are not fit to command a ship. Or even go into the command group at all. Yes.
No. Oh, come on, counselor. I won't do it again. I promise. I pinky swear.
Now, I know you didn't pitch, because I was there. Yes.
What? You were there? What character were you there? There. What character were you there? Are you some kind of Q? How is that even possible?
Oh, I can't tell you that. It's top secret. That'd be silly. I'm going to tell you that. Just let it be known that I was one of those bloggers years ago. Probably accidentally encouraged you. Just like Tabby encouraged you. Just like these others encouraged you. Just like Prom encouraged you. Yeah, it was probably a bad idea for us to have done that. And we apologize. However, you cannot change the timeline.
What are you guys going to do to me? After the court-martial hearing and all that.
That is for admirals to decide.
Constable Vitacola here, ready for more interrogations. Yes. Yeah, anyway, the Admiral wants to see that guy. Yeah, he's a little pissed off.
All right, then. Let me go with you.
This is it, then. So, you are Gummelt. You know, I met you years ago at a Star Trek convention. I remember you. But I remember you even further back than that for some reason. Yes, you are going to need to explain how you appeared 80 years ago in my past. You can start at the beginning. Picard. Picard. Yeah, I pitched a Star Trek. Yeah, I pitched, I did. I pitched. Now this is going to be a long one. Please start from the beginning.
Well, it all started with my brilliant plan to make my one script that I wrote. I wrote one script. It started with my brilliant plan. I wrote one script. Yeah, one TV script. Somehow, I took over the internet. 2015. All of it. It was amazing. And then later on, now in the future, I attempted to go back in time and mess with you. I apologize. Can I go now? What? That's preposterous. Actually, I have an idea, though. Yes. I think you would be perfect for this particular division. Yes. Assignment in Starfleet? Wait a minute. But I'm nuts. You're not going to assign me to some division at Starfleet, are you? That'd be stupid. Sorry. I mean, don't talk back to the Admiral. That's ridiculous. It's like in your story. And yes, I read it. It was very amateurish. But no. It never would have sold at Paramount or at CBS as a movie or a television show. Anyway, so yes. But I have something you can do. I don't think I'm going to like this, am I? Probably not. But if you want to redeem yourself, you will have to do this. Yes. All right, I'll do it. What? I think you might fit in over there. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'll do it. Better than spending the rest of my days in the brig somewhere. Splendid. We shall make the arrangements. Also, Mr. Gummelt, stay out of trouble. If you can. Get out of my office. Very well, sir. Probably true. That's a wrap. That's how to turn that story into something that actually works. You can thank me later. Yeah. Happy 60th anniversary, Star Trek. Yeah. Happy 60th anniversary, Star Trek. Happy 60th anniversary, Star Trek.